Hi everybody. So today we have a really special watch for review. This particular watch is the Omega Speedmaster Triple Date, commonly referred to as Triple Date, but the model is actually the Day Date, reference number 3521.80. The movement's Valjoux automatic movement in it. The cool thing about this watch and the variant of this particular model that I've had now for quite some time is really coming kind of back into man, and it has become a hot watch. Not when I got it. It was actually viewed as kind of a lower end Speedmaster, but I think it's one of the coolest complications that have actually come out. You've got your day, your month, the day that works around the outside of the indices. The actual, your date is the outside of the indices. Day on the left-hand side, month on the right-hand side, and then obviously it's a chrono. So when you actually look at this chronograph, it's a 39 millimeter. It's a wonderful dial size. Speedmaster line for me tends to, I find, be a little beefy and a little big. The newest Speedmaster version though, the Moonwatch, because the new kind of bracelet integration and the lug-to-lug length, I think they've really done a great job with that to kind of hit a more average sized wrist, or ones that don't fall out, or maybe that beefier look. This is just a classic watch. Again, all steel. When you actually look at the watch itself, the way that this bracelet, what I love about this, and I've always loved about wearing this watch, I've worn it on a NATO, but I keep coming back to the bracelet. I do actually prefer to wear my watches on bracelet. This bracelet, though, it's not one of the heavier bracelets that I have, and definitely not the most secure clasp. So I'd suggest, though, if you're wearing this watch, I don't know, driving, for timing, using the tachymeter for racing, or what it was the intended use is, perfectly fine. But if you're doing some high-end recreation stuff, or if you, even if you're running, or I know it sounds silly, but I was doing some sprints one time and it just popped right off with the momentum off my wrist. So even though this does have some water resistance, being a chronograph, you'll hear this time and time again, it's not recommended to wear a chrono in the water. I wouldn't, unless you absolutely need to. It's not like you're going to do damage with water exposure. That's the purpose of it. But I just wouldn't take it like, I wouldn't be diving and doing snorkeling with this thing. I'd use one of my watches that was obviously used or intended for that purpose. This is more of a dry land watch in rainy conditions, perfectly fine. Looks great on cuff, looks great recreationally. The Sunburst dial is so nice. I love the color of the blue, the texture of it when sun hits it in different lights, as well as it's a really rugged watch. When I first bought this, I thought it was going to be fairly fragile, maybe borderline dainty. I was kind of worried about it compared to some of my other pieces and things that I've have worn. I actually haven't seen anybody else in my circle or when traveling that has this variation, which I was waiting to find a good example of it, which I did, and I was lucky enough to pick this one up years ago. The reason I really like this variation of it and this reference is that the octagon actual crown. I think that's super cool. You don't see that on all of the triple dates. It was just a specific date range of the model that had those octagon, the actual octagon crown with the pushers. The action on the pushers is phenomenal. Really good feedback on it. Super cool little quick adjust for your date. Just one pull out on the crown. It's not a screw down crown. One pull out shifts the outside hand that goes around, obviously, your days of the month. I can show you here. You can see the outside of it start to move when you go past days of the month, even on the leap year. Changes over to March. Super easy to set. Changes over to April. One more out. obviously is your time and your main minute and hour hand. Really, really simple. And if you really want to go for it, I wonder if this one's on midnight. There you go. You'll see the day. Flip over. There you go to Saturday. And continue on. There is the quick adjust, let it get into focus. Quick adjust button right there. You can just use it with a pusher if you have a watch kit, or a link adjuster. Just pen, you can pop that in there, and that's a quick way to set the actual day, so you don't have to sit there and go every 24 hours. And the nice thing with the Octagon actually is that it's very user-friendly. If you need to do that and you don't happen to have that on you, if you're traveling or what have you, and you don't have that, maybe you're wearing a couple watches and the power reserve runs out on it, it's not that big of a deal. I just suggest that before traveling, if you're traveling with multiple watches, have this set, maybe wear it the first day, let it rest, so that, you know, if you're not bringing your tools, that's really easy to adjust and get on track there, and sync it to whatever watch you're currently keeping your time on, or your cell phone, or whatever it may be. Nice part with it, like I said, this actual bracelet, if you look again, just the way it sits. And if you look at the back side of it, many different variations of this watch, but this particular bracelet is flat flush, if you see what I mean. It's unbelievably comfortable. I should give you a wrist shot here on wrist. Very, very, very comfortable watch. Extremely comfortable watch to wear. Doesn't bite at all. I leave it about maybe enough to get my pinky under for sure, maybe half, just for swelling and stuff like that when you are traveling, but an absolutely gorgeous piece. I really like on this one the polished center links. Yes, they get scuffed up. It is a polished center link. So if you're using this watch and wearing it regularly, though, you know what, it really doesn't take away, it actually adds to the watch. I wouldn't say that it, you know, with like even something like this, like with your glasses, if you just have, you know, a quick little polish off on it, get the marks off, super easy. I carry one of these around with me in my pocket almost all the time, just for myself, for my glasses, or for my timepieces. The sweep on the second hand is beautiful, right on point. Timekeeping is very accurate. I've had to have this watch professionally serviced by Omega only once since owning it. That Valjoux movement, super cool. People will say it's loud. I love the Valjoux movement in this. Yes, it is a little bit thicker of a watch. It's a chrono, right? So it's a chronograph. That's going to be a little bit thicker movement, still easy to get under cuff. But the cool part about this is when you hold it up to your ear, I don't know if you can hear that, but you can literally feel the rotor move. Even when it's on wrist, you can feel it move. I've seen in some reviews that is seen as a negative. I think it's awesome. I love wearing this watch. I'm a big feedback. I like feedback off my watches, whether it be a bezel on a diver or a GMT, the crown, or pushers, right down to the movement. I'm big on that part. So I hope this is, again, this review's really helped a couple of people in the market. Maybe you already have this watch. Maybe you're pulling it back out because you've missed it and you're wearing it. That's what always happens to me with this thing. I always seem coming back, like I always come back to it. But anyway, hope everybody has a wonderful day. We'll see you in the next review. And until then, I bid you all adieu. Take care.